I had to go back and double check the runtime of this movie. So it is 2 hours and 14 minutes long, but just to assuage anybody who thinks that's long, trust me, in D&D time, that's a second. What's up, guys? My name is Roll20, do math stuff, D&D, Crispy. And I just got back from seeing Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I was about to say The Last Wish for some reason. I just really love Puss in Boots too. It is directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley, the same guys who gave us Game Night, which, by the way, is a very underrated movie. Go check that out if you haven't. Love it. The story is a bard played by Krisp and a barbarian played by Michelle Rodriguez set off to find an amulet that can bring his wife back to life so that his daughter can have a mother again and they can be a complete family again. So a ragtag band of misfits gather to find a sacred treasure, but they run into the most unexpected of mysteries and troubles along the way. Now, I'm just gonna get into what I think of the game, but first I gotta talk about the movie. I don't care what anybody says, the 2000 Dungeons & Dragons movie is wonderful. It is one of those rare movies that manages to so royally up everything it is trying to do that it is wonderful. And I also don't care what anybody says. I am crying inside knowing that Jeremy Irons was not in this film. We need that. Whatever the he did in that film. The game is fun to either play briefly or sit in the background watching other people play. I love the storytelling. I love just the aspect of creating your characters and getting to make them your own. And whenever the focus is on that, I am always down for a D&D game. But does there have to be so much math in it? So as you can imagine, given the actual quality and not entertainment value of the D&D projects that came before this, yes, D&D 2000 has so much entertainment value. I don't care what anyone says. This movie did have some low hopes to get over, and yeah, it jumped the shark there. I mean, seriously, this movie is shockingly entertaining. Like, hook jumper cables up to my nipples and turn the car on. It is the kind of fantasy movie that I never really expected to get, but I feel like we have needed for quite a bit. And I feel like a lot of that is because of the charm of the characters and how well they use the D&D tropes and the feeling of D&D to just create the charm that this movie has. Now, just to warn anybody who's just gotten tired of like MCU style bathos, do they have it in this movie? Yes, but it works. And I think there are two reasons for that. The first is it stays true to the characters and their goals and the serious moments that they need when they do get them. And second, it captures the charm of what it feels like to be somebody who is playing this game. So even if you're somebody who is not familiar with the kind of spirit that it evokes, per se, I would explain, but I left my Channing totem in my closet. You can still be kind of intrigued imagining what kind of thinking went into the movie, and whether you play D&D or not, that charm, I think, will entertain you. Speaking of the characters and their goals, we do have a rich cast of characters in this movie. You've got the bard, who's also somewhat of a sneak and a thief. You've got the barbarian, who isn't really one for words, but can more than make up for it with anything involving combat. You've got the very powerful sorcerer, the not as powerful cleric. You've got an elven rogue, you've got a very powerful sorcerer, and you've got a con man. And this is how it all largely starts out without giving away too many spoilers. It really is interesting to see how each of these characters branches off or comes together with the rest of the party in their own different ways in pursuit of their own goals and the things that make sense with their character archetypes in the games. And neither of these characters are perfect. They bring with them flaws that present challenges to the rest of the party, but they also bring strengths with them. They each add something, but also present a challenge to the other people in their party. You've even got the paladin, who's sort of like, you know, like the paladin in D&D is always like the perfect guy, and it's so annoying, but they play off of how annoying it is in this movie, and they make how perfect he is at everything except for like casual human interaction. Just they make him fun because of it. And a lot of that is owed to the performances, especially an actor who I am coming to appreciate more and more lately, Krisp. If I had a penny for every time someone said I looked like him, I would be richer than Elon Musk. Krisp has this ability to really bring a liveliness to any character he plays. He can be given very stiff, very straightforward lines that just have no charm to them, but the way he'll deliver it and the little things he'll add to the line will make that line charming. And furthermore, that charisma feels genuine. It really makes you feel like this is a character, this is a real person who you can get behind, which I can't unfortunately say about Hugh Grant's character. It feels like a lot of the time they are just kind of forcing him to be funny for funny's sake. You know, he's supposed to be the guy people laugh at. But Krisp Pine does feel like an archetype, but also a person. And the movie gives the personhood of these characters, if you will, the chance to thrive and the chance to, a chance for that beating heart to beat, you know? And this movie does have heart to it. It's mainly meant for entertainment. It's mainly meant for spectacle, but it does make you care about these characters, and it does have a passion that you can get behind clearly. And like I said before, it is fun. The action in this movie is fun to watch, especially Michelle Rodriguez's scenes. They have some very creative, very fun sequences. They have these two labyrinthine type quests. One of them is to get a helmet. They have really fun quests too. The quests feel very labyrinthine, very puzzle-like, especially when they go deep into this volcano to find a helmet, and especially the last quest that they do, which involves a labyrinth that is above ground but also underground, and the enemies they face are all tricks and traps and parts of the puzzle. I will say though, the CGI in this movie does kind of suck, but you can understand that. The way this movie is made definitely gives off a low budget, underdog, little engine that could type vibe. It's not like with the MCU when their CGI gets crappy, which has been happening a lot lately. You don't really excuse that. That is a multi-billion-dollar company owned by the biggest entertainment corporation in the world, and they're churning out CGI like that. Like, you know, one just has higher expectations attached to it. So if this movie doesn't necessarily meet like these high CGI expectations, that's fine. They're clearly just getting started. Speaking of high expectations, I don't know what the goals of everybody who goes to see this movie will be. Don't expect the next Lord of the Rings. Anybody who's expecting a masterpiece out of this movie is unfortunately going to be disappointed. It's very much not a work of art, but that's okay. The movie is just here to give people a good time. I mean, guys, come on, it's D&D. It's just there to entertain. But the good news is it does its job well there. It has funny dialogue. It gives you nostalgia for just banter-filled campaigns, or just banter-filled anything you would do with loved ones or friends, honestly. It feels very authentic, very human, and good news, guys, good news, we have a movie that is not preaching at us. So anybody who wants a break from the unfortunate cascade of movies we get from writers who often feel like they are everybody else's moral superior, you'll get that break here. It's just a movie that is here to entertain, and it entertains. And I am definitely not the only one who thought that, because I went into a packed theater tonight and my buddies and I, we were just laughing so hard. The rest of the audience was too. We were like, they were like genuine ohs from us, like excited, just shouts whenever we got surprised by something. It was just a good time, and it brought people to the theater. I hope it keeps doing that. The theater deserves a chance, and this movie deserves the watch. I would definitely recommend it. A work of art? No. Perfect? Definitely not. But very entertaining and well worth my rating of a solid 79% on the Crispy meter. Definitely an enjoyable eat. Go dine, baby. It's good. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. Come join the Crispy Kingdom. We are all royals here. I also have a gaming channel and a clip channel and a Twitch. The YouTube account of the greatest editor in the world, The Dark Gale, is also down there. I also have the link to a short film I was in with some friends called One Heart, and the Global Nerds podcast. Thank you to all of those who have watched our episodes, especially those who watched our interviews with Catherine Sutherland, Brian Edward Hill, and Ron Wasserman. My buddies and I over there have to give a very special thank you to helping us pass 1 million streams. Thank you guys so much. This means a lot. The fun that I have going to movies like this and the fun that I have making videos like this just reminds me of the joy of creation. So anybody, even like if you're just clicking on this video or watching it the whole way through, just thank you for being a part of this. This means a lot. This has been Crispy. And that's it. The Krisp is spoken. Take care.